Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Stomp This Way. Today, we're talking about King Kong Escapes. Very exciting. We're going back over to our friends at Toho Studios in tandem with Universal and Rankin Bass. And, we're going to continue with our Kong franchise.
Yay.
Yay. Are you excited?
Yay.
Super excited. Well, you ready for some alternate titles?
Oh, let's go for it.
So the original Japanese title was King Kong's Counterattack. In Germany, of course.
Well, let me guess. Something with Frankenstein.
Of course. King Kong, Frankenstein's son.
Okay.
The suit kind of looks Frankenstein together, maybe. In Belgium, they called it The Revenge of King Kong.
I guess.
In Italy, they called it King Kong, the Giant of the Forest. In Turkey, they called it Wrath of the Monsters. In Mexico, they called it The Return of King Kong.
Yeah.
And in Finland, they called it King Kong on the Island of Terror.
Sure.
But anyway, let's talk about the humble beginnings of this movie. So there was an animated TV show that aired on Japanese television, produced by Rankin Bass, called The King Kong Show.
We're not watching that.
No. So when they decided they wanted to, after they made King Kong vs. Godzilla, Toho still had the rights to King Kong for a few years, obviously, and they started thinking of a King Kong movie that they could make kind of based off this animated TV show. So, and I think I might have talked about this a little bit in our Ebra Horror of the Deep episode, but initially their first plan was to make a movie called Operation Robinson Crusoe: King Kong vs. Ebra. But after Rankin Bass reviewed the script, they didn't think it would be close enough to the cartoon. So Toho just, rewrote that into a Godzilla movie that we've reviewed, obviously. So then they came up with this movie, King Kong Escapes. But anyway, so Linda Miller, who plays Susan in the movie, of course, when they didn't have the original, recorded audio track for this movie because they redubbed everything for the Japanese audiences. So when they brought it over to America, the other white actors got to redub, I guess mainly Rhodes Reason got to redub his lines in English, but she did not get invited back to redub her lines in English. So we are not hearing her voice in the movie that we watched. And she has said that she was disappointed that she did not get to because she does not like the voice that they gave her. I don't blame her. This film is the introduction of Gorosaurus, who is from Destroy All Monsters fame.
It's one of Andrew's favorites.
Yeah.
Rhodes Reason, who is the lead white actor, has said to have believed that the film was lousy. He apparently called Honda a hack, and he thought Japanese filmmaking was primitive.
How rude.
What a douche. Although it is said that Honda, despite the fact that Rhodes Reason was difficult to work with, always treated him with the utmost respect. And Linda Miller even claims that Rhodes Reason was a joy to be with on set, and that he and Takarada had a lot of fun together. So this movie was part of Toho's 35th anniversary commemoration, and Toho wanted to pit MechaniKong against Godzilla, but by the time they got around to it, their rights to Kong had expired, and they decided it was too expensive even to lease his likeness to include MechaniKong into another movie. So they got Mechagodzilla instead. And,
without that, we would have never got what we got a couple weeks back.
Yeah, right. And the Japanese version of this film has never been released in the West. We did watch the Universal Blu-ray release, so it was the American version. I don't think I've ever been able to locate the Japanese version.
Don't worry, I'm sure Arrow Video or Criterion will probably work on some like big comprehensive Kong set, and it'll have they'll hunt down the Japanese version and remaster it.
Yeah, put some subs on it, and Aaron will shell out $200 for it, I'm sure. So there we go. But Arrow Video's got something else exciting coming out that we'll talk about at the end of the episode. But anyway, Dylan, why don't you tell them what little I found out about the box office history of this movie?
Very little. Mm-hmm. Yes, this film was released July 22nd of 1967 in Japan. Mm-hmm. Released June 19th of 1968 in the United States of America. Just a few short weeks before we put a man on the moon.
Yeah, right.
Or I guess
a year. That was the next year.
I mentioned like a few short weeks before, Stanley Kubrick helped him fake the moon landing.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
This movie made $3 million in North America when it was released here.
That's right. I don't know what it made in Japan, and I don't know how much it cost to make, but I'm guessing they made a little bit of money off of it.
Maybe.
But anyway, we're going to listen to the trailer, and then we're going to come back, read off the cast and crew, read off the plot summary, and we'll discuss our thoughts on King Kong Escapes. See you in a bit.
X があればどこの国よりも早く安くしかも威力のある核兵器が作れる。
北極のこんなところから世界征服の1ページが始まるってわけね。
安定装置が故障しました。
もう一つ質問します、今度はキングコングを生け捕りにするんですか？
ニューヨークへ連れて帰ってまた壊されたらどうするの？
コングを見つけたらこの娘がわしの言う通りしてくれるさ。
すだ、何も言うな。
生け捕る自信がある？
もちろんわしの言い出したことだ。急げ。
All right, we're back.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This film is directed by Ishiro Honda, or as the Universal credits him, Inoshiro Honda. Written by Kaoru Mabuchi.
Sure.
You know, I butcher Japanese name every week on this podcast. I'm so sorry. Music by, obviously, Akira Ifukube. Effects by Eiji Tsuburaya.
Never heard of these guys.
Nope, never heard. And starring Rhodes Reason, Akira Takarada, Linda Miller, Hideo Amamoto, Mie Hama, who was a Bond girl the same year.
Oh.
Haruro Nakajima as King Kong, and Yu Sakita as MechaniKong and Gorosaurus.
And
Yeah, dual roles.
whoa.
What's the plot?
Sure. All right. The evil Doctor Who is after the radioactive element X, and in order to excavate it, he builds the robot doppelganger, MechaniKong. But when the robot goes digging for the element, the radiation short circuits it. Facing pressure from his overseer, Madame Piranha, he decides to kidnap the real Kong to dig up element X. Meanwhile, a submarine whose crew consists of Commander Nelson, Lieutenant Commander Nomura, and Lieutenant Susan Watson arrive at Mondo Island, where they find Kong and witness him duel with other giant beasts, such as Gorosaurus and a giant snake.
Yeah.
The crew gets away from Kong, but Doctor Who soon arrives to the island and takes Kong hostage. He takes the giant ape back to the North Pole and attempts to force him to dig for Element X, but the mind control device won't work. Doctor Who then kidnaps Susan and her friends, since Susan is the only person who Kong will listen to. But Kong escapes, and he and MechaniKong duel it out in Tokyo. After a hard-fought battle, Kong is victorious, and Doctor Who is killed in the chaos. In the final scenes, Kong returns home to Mondo Island as credits roll.
That's right, more or less.
Basically.
So this film starts out on a submarine commanded by Nelson. I almost said Craig T. Nelson.
No.
And, they're talking about there's this Mondo Island, and there's this giant 60-foot tall ape there, and, they'd like to go there, but,
Can they not have the rights to call it Skull Island?
I guess not. That was extra. What do they call it in King Kong versus Godzilla? They called it,
Infant Island?
No, that's Mothra's Island.
That's
they called
Mothra's
it,
Island, that's right.
They called it Odo Island, right?
Odo,
or something like
Odo.
that.
Not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah.
Costs extra to call it Skull Island, I guess.
Yeah, and we're introduced to, our three main characters who are played by Rhodes Reason and Akira Takarada and Linda Miller, and they're like the trio of heroes in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Relationship status? Question mark.
Thruple.
Oh man, we're burning hell. Anyway, but
maybe
no,
like a quadruple, because like sometimes Madame Piranha is like really like she's really like into
Commander Nelson.
Yeah. I'm like, huh.
Yeah. But
interesting.
It's
a love square.
You love square. After we got our little introduction scene, we go right to the North Pole.
The North Pole.
With
the evil Doctor Who.
Where they find the evil Doctor Who. No relation to the British television show. And he has built a robot Kong. MechaniKong. I guess he stole some schematics from Nelson or something. Yeah, his grand plan, he needs to dig up Element X. So his
why?
Well,
it's some sort of radioactive element that they use for, I guess, nuclear weapons.
Yeah, Madame Piranha's country that she's from is gonna take it and build a nuclear arsenal or something.
Yeah, I saw in like certain variations of this film, she's referred to as Madame X at some point.
Is she? Yeah, well, I don't know. She's credited as Madame Piranha.
Yeah,
maybe in the Japanese version, they called her Madame X. I don't know. But anyway, so his grand idea, instead of, building some kind of tractor and pulley system or something, he built a giant robot ape to dig it up. Because. But it gets down there.
I mean, if we're going to build robots, you're pretty right. I mean, why not just build like a robot excavator?
Yeah.
What's Big Monkey doing for you?
Gosh, I don't know. It looks cool, I guess. Something that...
you can have a movie.
Something that I find cool, like kind of cool, is like he has like this belt with grenades on it that he doesn't use them in the final fight. I was very disappointed.
He used them all probably.
I guess. Well, anyway, he gets down there and the radiation...
I love it that during this scene though, where he's dropping these grenades, he's like, "My Kong can do things that the real Kong could never do."
Yeah. Drop grenades. But it gets down there, and I guess, I don't know, like he says something about the magnetic force short circuit his circuits or something. So his next plan is to kidnap the real Kong.
He's like, we'll just rebuild Kong with my MechaniKong with like
shielded
circuits. But then they're like, but we just got the real Kong.
Yeah. But anyway, so cut back to the submarine ran into a rock or something. There was an avalanche.
Or a rock slide in an underwater canyon.
So they have to take a pit stop at Mondo Island, just so happens. And they go ashore.
They run into one singular islander.
One islander, because that's all they could afford for this movie. And so Akira Takarada and Rhodes Reason go off on their own and leave Linda Miller by herself on a strange island.
Gorosaurus shows up.
Yep.
And it's going to attack her.
Yep.
But Kong hears it.
Hears her screams. Everyone can hear her screams. whole island. And anyway, so this is, obviously this movie's version of the Kong versus T-Rex fight.
Sure is.
T-Rex is replaced by Gorosaurus. And Gorosaurus, he's got his infamous kangaroo kick move going, and there's a big fight, and
This movie's something else.
Kong first he picks up Linda Miller, and we get a lot of "Put me down, Kong." That voice is
She says it
awful.
like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
This one scene,
One scene.
And he puts her down, and they fight, and then the other two show back up, and they.
And then he beats it, and then he eventually breaks his jaw.
Yeah, he punches the crap out of.
He's
thing.
got him laying on the ground.
Boom, boom,
boom, boom, and then he takes his jaw, and goes, pops it open.
Boom,
Classic
check 'em out.
Kong.
Classic
Yeah.
Kong. And then they are trying to get away, and their little hovercraft is attacked by a giant snake.
So he takes a rock and chokes its head. And he hits its head, and he goes, "Doosh."
But he has to go in the water and fight it, and it wraps around. It's
And he
an homage
wrestles
to the scene where he fought this Loch Ness monster thing in the original movie
And then he
Yeah.
snaps its jaw and throws it in the water.
or something.
Or something.
And then he starts shaking the sub. So Linda Miller
And then
has
he
to,
knocks on it.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Hello,
Hello?
anybody in there?" And Linda Miller goes out and tries to calm him down, and then he picks her up, and then she just dives into the water.
down.
Take me
back to the ship.
He takes her back to the ship, and they leave, and Kong is sad.
Nobody loves Kong.
But then Doctor Who shows up, and they drop some gas bombs, and they pick him up with some helicopters, and they ship him off to the North Pole.
Yep.
Yeah. So now they're going to
Yeah.
mind control him with
Yeah.
hypnosis.
Yeah, at this point, I think they had our main trio has gone back to the UN and
Yeah.
told them about this situation.
Yeah.
And they send a crew back to get Kong or something like that,
Well,
right?
Madame Piranha is there. This is
Yeah.
where they get the idea of, I think, kidnapping the real Kong. Madame Piranha is there, and she's pretending to be a reporter. And then she goes back to Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and it's
so
not
they,
like
they
take
send
Kong.
they send our main crew back,
Yeah.
and
Kong's
Doctor Who
missing.
shows up and has already taken him, and they show up and they get
They find the native that Doctor Who shot.
dead. He's dying.
He's dying.
He's dying.
And then they get picked up by some
Well, yeah, they start heading towards...
Japanese people on a plane, but they're not Japanese.
Well, yeah, Commander Nelson's like, I know who took Kong. So they start heading that way, and then on their trip, a plane comes to pick him up to say, they're saying they're going to take him back to the UN or something, but,
Yeah, and then Akira Takarada's like, I don't think they're Japanese.
Yeah, I love, when they first show up on the island, way back in that first scene, and Commander Nelson, understands this native who's speaking total gibberish.
You're
He's
like, huh?
It's a dialect of Javanese. I'm like,
You speak that?
do you speak that, bro?
Don't you know every naval commander speaks Javanese?
Yeah, Aaron.
I will say that Rhodes Reason, even if he was a jackass on set, he's a lot better than... Have we watched War of the Gargantuas yet?
Yeah.
Oh, we did, yeah. He's a lot better than, what's his face from War of the Gargantuas, in terms of pretending to care about what's happening.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So anyway, they get back to the evil Doctor Who's lair in the
Yeah.
North Pole, and the people keep messing with Kong, and he's getting a little angry, so they decide to mind control him.
Yeah, and they stick some little things in his ears, and he goes
Send
down
him
there
in
to
his-
dig.
Been on his way in the spot to dig, yeah.
But I guess the flashing lights, break the hypnosis or something, and
Yeah.
He gets a little angry.
he gets angry.
So they trap him.
So they lock him back up, but Nelson and all them are back, and so he goes and, I don't know, basically threatens them to...
They don't want to help, so they
Help.
get locked up, and then Nelson goes and talks to Madame Piranha or something.
Yeah, at one point Madame Piranha tries to seduce him,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Which I think she actually does like him, kind of.
yeah,
It seems.
she's basically, she was in a Bond movie this same year.
She's basically the same character, I'm sure.
Well, I think she was. She might have. I can't remember. I think she was a good, one of the good Bond girls. I think, but she's basically playing a Bond villain. Her and Doctor Who both. But this isn't Sean Connery. He's not as easily seduced. Although he does kind of look like a knockoff Sean Connery.
Great
Yeah.
value, Sean Connery.
Yeah. But yeah, so at some point, Linda Miller and Akira Takarada are getting frozen to death, and Doctor Who
I think
is
she
like,
finally decides to work with him. Right?
no, he's gonna push her face up against the cold wall,
Yeah.
and then Kong breaks out of the.
Yeah, he breaks out. That's right.
Yeah, he escapes. King Kong escapes. Nope, safe. And then King Kong escapes into the water, and swims off, and MechaniKong goes after him, and so
Now we're in Tokyo.
yeah, they loaded everybody up on a boat, and we're in Tokyo, and Madame Piranha's had a total change of heart, and now she's worried about all the people that are going to die when MechaniKong fights Kong in Tokyo, so she lets them free. And of course they got Stormtrooper aim, the guys on the ship, because they're shooting machine guns and can't hit anything. But
Stormtrooper aim.
Stormtrooper aim. But yeah, so the last, really the final fight's only the last like 15 minutes of this
15
movie.
or so minutes.
They go out and we have the big final fight. In
Yeah,
Tokyo.
so Kong and MechaniKong, they like throw hands for like 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then MechaniKong picks up Susan and takes her up Tokyo Tower, and Kong chases her and him
up, and MechaniKong
kinda
drops her.
yanking at his leg, and then he drops her and he catches her and sets her somewhere else, and then they kind of hang off the side of Tokyo Tower, kind of like throw hands at each other and kicks at each other for a few minutes.
Yeah,
and then,
while Akira Takarado climbs up to save Linda Miller.
Meanwhile, back on the boat, Madame Piranha has like tried to.
She's unplugged them.
Yeah, she's like tried to.
MechaniKong,
She's like tried to
basically.
take Doctor Who hostage or whatever,
Yeah.
and he has turned a gun on her. I guess like somehow got a hold of it, and so she gets up and unplugs the controls to MechaniKong unplugs them, and then she gets shot and dies.
Yeah.
And then Kong pulls. Yeah, that. The dramatic head turn is just great.
Good God.
Kong pulls MechaniKong off the tower and he falls and breaks apart
And kind of blows up a little.
blows up. Short circuit sparks. Then it's morning, and Linda Miller tells Kong, "Get the ship, Kong."
Get that ship!
And he goes and
He wrecks the ship and
wrecks
he
it apart,
sinks it. And then
and
the evil
Doctor Who gets crushed by a table or something. And there's a lot of blood.
Oh, he coughs up a bunch of blood.
Yeah, dude.
a lot.
Actually, the studio wanted the scene where Gorosaurus got his jaw broke, wanted blood spurt out of his jaw, but Eiji Tsuburaya was like, "No, there will not be blood in my kids shows." So they just did it with the human scenes instead. But yeah, he dies, and then Kong swims back to Mondo Island, and the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an amazing movie.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
goofy.
It's goofy.
Oh yeah.
It's a highly goofy movie. But I enjoy the B movie quality of it. I think
it's very, very cheesy.
I think it captures the right tone more or less.
And I think that this movie kind of knows what it is.
Yeah.
It knows that it's goofy.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not great.
I mean, and I do think at 96 minutes, of course, this is 8 minutes shorter than the Japanese cut. But I think even at 96 minutes, considering the subject matter, it probably runs a little long. It gets a bit tedious at times.
Yeah, it can.
We can probably cut down on some of the human scenes some more.
Yeah.
But
I could probably do without Linda Miller screaming, which is not even really her, I guess.
Her
It really
voice
doesn't-
is very annoying.
It's obnoxious.
Oh, it's very annoying.
Very. Put him
Damn,
down.
I do say I like the acting for the most part. I think that Hideo Yamamoto as Doctor Who, he is perfectly over the top.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's playing a Bond villain.
He's playing a goofy Bond villain to the top, and I think May Hama or whatever her name is, she's good as an evil Bond villain, Madame Piranha.
Definitely.
Linda Miller, she's even if you take away the voice, I mean, she's fine. Akira Takarada is Akira Takarada. He's good. I mean, even Rhodes Reason, even if he was a jackass and didn't want to be here, I thought he was fine.
He works, yeah.
He works.
It works for it.
I think the dubbing on this is a little rough though. Sometimes sometimes the mouths look very wonky.
Yeah, the dubbing is especially the dubbing on Akira Takarada is pretty rough. Now, again,
Some of the dubbing on Doctor Who is a little bad.
I will
and
say,
Piranha.
yeah, I mean, because of again, it's a goofy movie, and I enjoy the goofy qualities. I
roll with it.
overlooked. It's not so bad that I'm just like, oh, this is just painful
No, it's
to
not
watch.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
It is not
No.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
That's a great movie.
Which is a great movie if you don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, it's on YouTube for free. You should check it out. But it's better.
Dog in that movie. There's a scene in that movie where a dog barks and like 30 seconds later it goes, woof.
Yeah, they do that several times.
It's funny.
It's better than the dubbing on the Heisei Godzilla movies
This
for
is true.
sure.
This is really
So yeah, but no, you know what? I think it's
not bad. It's
fine.
entertaining.
It's entertaining.
It's very goofy, and
Yeah.
the tone is
It's just the
very cheesy.
The idea that like
That someone was like, I want to harvest this element.
Yeah.
Let me make a giant robot ape.
yeah, generic element X. The best way to dig it up is to build a giant robot ape, and then the best our plan B is to mind control the original ape. And
have them dig
Or
it
something.
or something.
It's
yeah.
ludicrous.
And the Bond
Yeah.
villain qualities of it. I mean, I don't know. I have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you put James Bond in this movie. It's just
If you replace Road's Reason with
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, I mean, you got an A+ movie right here.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of which, we got to get back on our Bond marathon, Angel. Ugh, Jesus.
Bond.
Anyway, so many.
James Bond.
Anyway, you want to talk about creature design?
Sure.
Why not?
Well, you know who we got to start with. King Kong. It's a bit rough.
It's a little rough.
I have so many things I want to say that I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, well, we'll just say he looks dopey. Real dopey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disproportionate.
Very disproportionate.
He's got short little stubby legs and a really wide fat torso.
Yeah.
A
Long
giant head
arms.
and freaking long arms.
Which, if you look at a real gorilla, they do have short legs and long arms, but
like his head and
they
his
don't
body
walk
are
upright.
really weird.
yeah.
Really weird
At times, they have arm extensions in, and Haru Nakajima.
and they
would-
kind of just hang
yeah,
and
he would
flop.
have like these like sticks that he would hold on to like give him some control of the arms. Now, for the fight scenes and stuff, they usually take out the arm extensions, and it's just Haru Nakajima's arms. And you can tell the difference. But yeah, his head looks way bigger than it should be.
And sometimes it almost feels like it changes. Like in certain scenes, like the head looks way bigger.
Way bigger,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like, ooh.
He looks rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the suit is not great.
You're just gonna have to laugh with it.
It looks patchy.
yeah.
Looks like they just kind of roll with whatever they had.
Yeah.
It's not even the same suit from the
62 movie. No, it's not.
Or maybe it is, and they did some slight modifications, and that's
Oh,
why it
they
looks
did.
a little rough.
I mean, if you thought it looked rough in 62, it looks
Really rough
I think
now.
it's a different suit, though. Yeah. Who else? We got Gorse. MechaniKong, I guess, is the first one we see, technically.
It looks
Yeah.
like a robot Kong.
It's a robot Kong. He's got, like, these high beams for eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He tries
He's
to,
got
like...
this big flashing thing on his head.
Yeah, he's got... Yeah, they put the hypnosis thing on his head at one point before Akira
Yeah.
Takarada shoots it out like a boss, and then Kong knocks it off. He's got grenades on his belt, like we said. He's,
Does.
But yeah, he basically just looks like a robot Kong.
I like MechaniKong's look a lot.
He's got
better.
speakers in his mouth. He opens his
does.
mouth, and Doctor Who yells at Kong.
I like the look of MechaniKong much better than actual
Yeah.
King Kong.
He looks fun. I like the
Yeah.
look of MechaniKong. If there was like a robot version of Kong, they captured it pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe one day.
Will he come back
One
in the
day.
MonsterVerse?
Maybe one day.
If the rumors that we're going to talk about at the end of the show are true, maybe the enemy should be MechaniKong.
God.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, I mean, Universal already owns the rights too. I mean, Universal doesn't own the rights. It doesn't make those movies. Never mind. Anyway,
MechaniKong is technically a Toho product, isn't it? Because Toho created it.
no, it's in the likeness of Kong, so whoever owns the rights of Kong.
Okay,
So or I guess Warner Brothers wouldn't have to pay extra for those rights. So there you go. Ideas. Anyway, MechaniKong looks cool. Gorosaurus.
Corsaurs.
He looks like he did Destroy All
Yeah,
Monsters.
it's like a little T-Rex guy.
He looks
Short
like
little
a-
stubby arms. He's
yeah.
kind of like a bluish color.
That-
With this long snout looking thing.
That drop
Yeah.
kicks people.
Little three-armed, three-fingered
Fingered,
arms.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's got a little drop kick that he does over and
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, he does.
It's
Constantly.
Con.
I like Gorosaurus.
That's
He's
his
got
only
big
move.
sharp teeth.
Yeah, I like Gorosaurus.
Then he gets the crap beat out of him.
And
Yeah.
he dies.
Poor guy.
We also have the snake.
The snake.
Looks like a giant rubber snake.
Yeah.
Giant rubber snake.
What'd you think about their little hovercraft?
Well, I mean, when it's on land, it
Yeah.
just looks like they took a car and put some plastic around it.
Yeah, probably. And
And then, yeah.
like you said, it's the
Yeah.
early model heave.
Yeah, it's the original Heave, guys.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh boy.
Everything's full of references.
Yes, everything's a reference. Hey,
You can make anything a
The
reference.
scene-
So you're like, oh, that's a reference. You're
the
like,
scene
is
in
it,
Skull
though?
Island, probably one of the more famous scenes in that movie where he's throwing trees at the helicopters. Taken straight from this movie, guys.
He literally starts ripping trees out of the ground, trying to helicopters.
Yeah. Was there any other monsters? I don't
No,
think so.
I
I
think
think
it's it.
that was it.
Pretty
So Monster
sure.
Design's not not bad, but not good.
It's
Not-
goofy if you like goofy.
Kong is goofy.
Kong is goofy.
MechaniKong is
pretty
Less.
typical Toho.
pretty. Yeah, he's goofy too, but he
Yeah.
looks better than.
He's
Kong.
less
He
goofy.
doesn't look dopey like Kong.
Yeah. I want to say it so bad, but I can't. I shouldn't say
You
that.
just don't say it. Well, we're gonna be as the least offensive as possible. Effects.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not the best outing that Steve Mariah's had.
Oh no, it's not. It's rough.
It's about
Oh,
on
rough.
par with some Ultraman episodes I've seen.
The matting is not good.
Now you can definitely see the blue outline on every matting scene.
It's not good.
And I mean, you can all tell when they're in the North Pole and on the forest, like they're definitely on a set.
There's
with
literally like a
painted
screen
walls around
behind
them.
them, and
or painted walls around
or
them.
something. Yeah,
It does look like at times it looks like they went out and filmed some of this forest stuff
maybe
in outdoors, or it's a good set.
a really good set. I mean,
Yeah.
but and then
I like the submarine set, although I think it's a lot roomier than a real submarine would be. But whatever.
the scenes where Susan is getting held. They built, I guess, live action models of the Kong hand and the MechaniKong hand to hold her. But when she's in the hand and then they mat her onto a shot, it looks really rough.
Or when they had the doll in the hand. It looks
Oh
like
my
a
gosh,
Raggedy
it's
Ann
literally
doll.
like a freaking like at certain times it looks like a Raggedy Ann or a Barbie doll or something like that.
Yeah.
They just put in,
Yeah.
and it's really choppy when he like sets her down on something. It
Yeah.
like
cuts hard.
really hard.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
You're like, ugh, not so great.
The model work is
The model work,
the city model work is
it's
not
pretty
bad.
good. Yeah.
Vehicles not so much.
Yeah. They put the little plastic people in the
They
vehicle.
committed one of my ultimate atrocities, putting little plastic people in vehicles.
Yeah. And I like the Tokyo Tower scene. I mean,
Yeah, it works.
Looks
It
rough at a
works.
couple spots, but I mean that's a big.
It's a big set.
Set for that Tokyo Tower thing. But yeah, I like the Tokyo set. I like, and even the little North Pole, like little battery operated set. It doesn't look too bad all the time. I like a lot of the interior stuff that they did.
Yeah, the interior sets that they've made are not bad.
It looks
Yeah.
pretty good. Costume design. Doctor Who's got his little cape, and Madame Piranha changes outfits about every scene.
Yeah.
So does Susan,
So does Susan.
especially once they get to Doctor Who's lair.
Yeah.
Like for the majority of the beginning of the movie, she's just wearing her naval outfit, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
And then she gets there and like changes clothes like multiple times.
I don't know. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Score. I mean, you're not gonna get me to say anything bad about Ifukube. I mean, we've heard a lot of this music recycled throughout the years.
No, and it definitely
But-
feels very, very Ifukube.
Yeah.
Just kind of like variations of different themes
Yeah.
that he's written before. Like there's one, the theme that plays during the fight between Gorosaurus and Kong almost feels like a mashup of like Rodan's theme mixed with Godzilla's theme, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most unique piece of music to this film, I think, is the one they consider MechaniKong's theme. It goes da 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 or whatever. I have it, I think, ready for the end of this episode, but I like his score.
Yeah, score's
can't
good.
go wrong.
Can't
with
go wrong
Ifukube.
with Ifukube.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you ready for some final thoughts on King Kong Escapes?
Yeah.
Andrew, would you like to start?
Well, this movie is goofy.
Yeah.
That's
I
an
don't think
understatement.
it's what.
That's an understatement.
I don't think it's meant to be taken too seriously.
No.
But for that, the acting is not the worst. It could be worse. And the score I like the score. It fits the movie perfectly the way it is. And Kong looks a little goofy at times.
Yeah,
It happens.
it happens.
And Kong, MechaniKong looks cool. I like the design of MechaniKong.
Just the name. You're in for a ride when the villain is MechaniKong.
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 It's like spelled like MEKANI, like KONGU or something like that.
In Japanese, yeah.
MechaniKong.
And there's the Gorosaurus and the snake. They all look cool and
Cool is a term.
cool.
That's one way to put it.
They are here.
They're here.
I love Gorosaurus. He's a fan favorite for me.
Yeah.
So happy for you.
Thank you.
And I think the effects, they're iffy. Most of the effects are iffy in this movie.
Yeah, definitely a step down from those Willis O'Brien outings we've seen.
Yeah. And model work, city's good. Other stuff, other models are not as good as we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think I'm gonna give this movie a C.
A C. Dylan, what do you think?
Yeah. This movie's it's a something.
It's a sight to behold.
It is. It is something. No, this movie's very, very, very goofy, like to the nth degree.
Yeah.
But I think it knows that, and I feel like it knows it at least.
Yeah.
And so it kind of pulls it off. The fact that it's just completely ludicrous that there's this guy named Evil Doctor Who that wears a cloak and wants to mine this nameless element, and so he just builds a robot ape to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't work, he's like, well, I'll just get the real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just completely absurd, but it works. It's very goofy, and it works for the vibe that they're going for. The characters they're interesting. They're all kind of generic Toho monster movie characters at this point, but I like them. I don't care for the voice actor that they got for Susan. I think her voice is obnoxious, but the acting on everyone's part definitely fits this film. Everyone's. Especially on the villain side of things, Madame Piranha and Doctor Who, they're definitely hamming it up, and it works really well. I like Akira Takarada and whatever the other guy's name is.
Rhodes Reason.
Yeah, that guy. He's cool.
He's got a cool name, Rhodes Reason.
Rhodes Reason. That's not his real name, I'm sure.
I doubt it.
But, Kong.
Yeah.
Nah. It looks a little rough. His face is really goofy. And the suit looks a little worse for wear. But my thing is that he's really disproportionate. He's got the shortest little squatty legs and the biggest fat torso and giant head and super long arms. He just looks really weird. But MechaniKong he looks good. He's goofy looking, but he works for this movie as a mechanical version of a giant monster you've seen. Gorosaurus and the snake, they're here. And the effects, though, this is where this movie I think struggles the most for me. The matting is pretty rough. The model work, aside from the Toho Toho City, is pretty lackluster. The vehicles look pretty cheap and toy like, and like I said earlier, they committed one of my biggest atrocities in this movie and putting little tiny plastic people in them. Yeah. At one point, they have a tank going down the road, and it's got a little plastic guy sticking out of it. Why they had to do that, I don't know. Just close the little hatch and let it drive.
Yeah.
But we get to the score. That's another bright spot. I mean, you can't complain about Akira Ifukube. He does great work. So overall, it's not a bad movie. It's definitely entertaining, and it's something to see. It's okay. I'm with Andrew. I think I'll give it a C.
Well, you are kind of harsh. Now, listen, I mean, obviously, I understand this movie's goofy, and it's a B movie in every sense of the word. I enjoy, for sure, the stuff we've talked about, the almost satirical Bond villainous-y bit with Doctor Who and Madame Piranha, and I think those two actors pull those roles off with perfect tone.
I can agree with that.
And I enjoy our main trio, even if, Susan's voice gets on my nerves. And, I'm never going to complain about Akira Takarada's acting. And Rhodes Reason, like I said, even if he hated being here, thought it was stupid, I think he does much better than, I can't even remember his name, but the guy that was in War of the Gargantuas, who you could just tell just did not want to be there at all. And even the stuff that's super goofy or super quote-unquote bad, like the look of King Kong, I can laugh along with it. I think they try to actually make him closer to proportions of a real gorilla, but just because he walks upright and the quality of the suit, it just looks so stupid, honestly. But as a fanboy, I love to see the origins of some of Godzilla's friends and foes, and here we see the origin of Gorosaurus, his kangaroo kick. Gotta love it. I love the references to the old Kong movies and some of the stuff from this movie that newer Kong movies reference. Just the bat crap crazy plot elements and stuff that goes down in this movie is, I find it all entertaining. Yeah, is it probably a little too long at 96 minutes?
Yes.
For the stuff that they have. Yeah, it gets a bit tedious when the monsters aren't on screen.
I think the final fight is slightly lackluster too. They kind of just the majority of the fight is them hanging off the side of a tower.
Yeah.
It is weird, for a lot of these movies that we watch, the final fight is like the last half hour of the movie. It's literally they like fight for 10 minutes and then the last 5 minutes is Kong tearing up Doctor Who's ship. I mean, it's not like a lot of these movies, and I agree they probably could have done more of just MechaniKong and King Kong just throwing punches at each other, and it would have been. And I wish MechaniKong would have used his grenades. I mean, is that too much to ask? That'd have been a lot of fun. But no, at the end of the day, I have quite a bit of fun watching this movie. I'm gonna give it a B-.
Fair.
So
Okay.
yeah, jerks.
It's just so goofy.
It is goofy, but it's gonna be a huge change of scenery next time when we get back around to Kong, because
We'll be back in America.
we'll be back in America, and at that time, Dino De Laurentiis' Kong was the most expensive movie ever made. So,
Was it really?
yeah, a bit of change in production values, in theory at least. But anyway,
We'll find out.
well, let's get to some news before we talk about, what's coming up on the schedule, which is part of the news. I've been busy this morning, guys.
Oh boy.
But anyway, so the first thing I thought we would talk about is the newest app, Godzilla app for the Play Store and, Apple Store or whatever. Godzilla mobile game is out, Godzilla Destruction. Andrew and I have downloaded it and played some of it. And what do you think, Andrew?
I think it's better than Godzilla Run.
It's definitely better than Godzilla Run because I actually understand what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Destroy things?
Destroy things. I mean, literally, the goal is to walk around and destroy buildings and ships and helicopters. I mean, it's super basic. I mean, that's literally the game, is you just walk around and destroy stuff. I mean, there's nothing more to it than that. I mean, I think you can unlock other characters and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't got that far enough. I will say, unless this newest update they did changed it, it doesn't save your progress. At least, I mean, I guess you had to complete the entire level before it saves your progress.
There's 10 levels per stage.
Yeah, you had to complete the whole stage.
It really doesn't take that long.
If you just sit there and do it, it probably takes you 15, 20 minutes or something.
Probably 6-7 minutes.
Okay, whatever. But yeah, you had to complete the whole stage or the whole level or whatever to save your progress. But I mean, it's fine.
It's a game.
It passes the time, I guess. But anyway,
Big news for the MonsterVerse.
the big news for the Monsterverse.
The
Monsterverse. I mean, of course, this is all still rumors, nothing confirmed. But Adam Wingard, director of Godzilla vs. Kong, is rumored to be in talks for a potential new Monsterverse film, which a rumored title being tossed around is Son of Kong. So, yeah, there you go. I was talking about earlier. Enemy should be MechaniKong. I just made their millions.
Should it?
I need credit. I need story credit. Speaking of new movies,
Oh.
The Asylum, who makes all the rip-off blockbuster movies, Mockbusters. There you go. It has released a trailer for their Godzilla vs. Kong rip-off Ape vs. Monster.
Yeah.
We're not watching that.
No, I draw the line.
I draw the line!
At Asylum films. Yeah,
Sci-fi is bad enough, okay?
we might have to do some sci-fi movies with some of the schedule changes I'm talking about, but yeah, we're not gonna do Asylum movies. I'm sorry, folks. It's just not gonna happen.
I draw the line.
Dylan will not do it. He says no. But that will be, I think that's coming to DVD and VOD or whatever, May 30th, if you're interested in those movies. I did try to watch one time. I sat down and watched 15 minutes of Atlantic Rim. And I think it was actually the Rift Tracks version of Atlantic Rim. And even with that, I was after 15 minutes, I turned it off. I was I just can't do it.
That's bad.
Yeah, it is that bad.
They have some films.
They do. But speaking of things coming to digital media, GVK is set to be released on physical media June 15th.
I believe it's getting a 4K and a Blu-ray release.
4K, Blu-ray, whatever you want to own it on.
Fancy steelbook. What is there a box office update for that this weekend? I think the whole dropped up another about 50% or so. I think right.
About 30, only a 36% drop domestically this weekend. Okay. It held at third place. I think it made $2.7 million. So
not bad.
I mean,
pushes it over. I think 90 million domestically.
Just over 90 million domestically.
So it might hit that 100 million mark.
Just over 415 million globally.
Not bad.
Yeah,
not
way
bad.
better than any other movie post pandemic. So,
definitely.
Oh yeah,
it can be proud of itself for sure, and that's why we're probably gonna get Son of Kong, the remake. Also, continuing movies coming out. Arrow Video is going to be releasing the Daimajin trilogy on Blu-ray, which it already has. I think a Mill Creek or Shout Factory, whoever made that old, it has a pretty good.
Looks
Blu-ray.
like Mill Creek from here.
Yeah, I think it's Mill Creek has a pretty good Blu-ray release of it out. But Arrow Video will be releasing their version on July 26th, and I think in American dollars it's roughly $62.
Kind of pricey.
It is a bit pricey for sure. I think the Mill Creek version was I think I paid like $12 for it or something. It
better have a lot of special features.
It better have some good special features. There's some pretty artwork, I think, by Matt Frank. Mostly.
Cool.
If you like that.
But the biggest news: our schedule changes.
So this morning I got to work, folks. We had a user send us an email.
Yeah, the last episode I think we asked for ideas for what our next franchise should be.
A listener, you got me saying user, listener. Yeah, so we asked and someone responded and gave us some good ideas. Starship Troopers. I can't remember if I've ever brought it up before, but I don't think I've ever really seriously considered it. But it's actually a pretty good choice.
Guy made a good point. It's kind of like a throwback to giant bug movies.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally fight giant bugs.
They fight giant bugs. So I think that will be after Tremors. That will be our next franchise. We're gonna do.
It's already on the schedule.
I put it on the schedule.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the 3 live action movies. Of course, the only the first one was theatrically released, and then the 2 direct to video sequels, and then we're even gonna do the 2 animated movies.
Casper Van Dien is in 3 of those.
Yes.
He's in the first one, the third one, and the second animated one.
Yeah. Poor Casper Van Dien. We'll talk more about him when we get there.
He's also in Star Raiders.
Yeah. I feel bad for the guy. But, Starship Troopers. I'm excited, especially for that first film. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it is a trip. For sure.
It's something.
It's
a cult classic for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason. It's also a bomb for a reason. So, and then after that,
oh god,
I broke down. I did it.
I think you rearranged some other parts of the schedule. Like it looks like I think I saw you rearrange the Rega and Rego movies or whatever.
Well, actually, I kept them where I had them.
You put movies in between them, I think, didn't you?
When I had movies in between them, I think already. But yeah, after Tremors, we're gonna take a short stint to the Rego and Rega movies. We're going to do those 3 movies with a movie in between each one to keep Dylan from just totally losing his will to live. And then after that, it will be Starship Troopers. And then after that, we're going to do Anaconda and Lake Placid. And I treated them... like as one franchise, so we're gonna do those movies. We're gonna do them like as one franchise in the order they were released. We're gonna
movies in between,
a movie in between each one. So I think we have
like Anaconda, a movie,
a movie, then Lake Placid, then a movie, then Anaconda 2, a movie, then Lake Placid 2, a movie, and then I think Lake Placid 3. And then there was another Lake Placid movie, and then Anaconda versus Lake Placid, and then there was
and then he added some movies called like Alligator.
Yeah, and there's I don't know if you and me both. I think I have seen the. It was pointed out by the person that emailed us. I think I have seen the first Alligator movie from 1980, and then there was a sequel in the 90s, and they're kind of like Lake Placid.
Why do you hate me?
Movies. I guess Lake Placid would probably be more of a ripoff of Alligator because it came out first. But yeah, we got that. I added Jack the Giant Slayer, and before that, a '60s movie called Jack the Giant Killer, based off the fable, obviously. And then also I added, what is that movie called? Giant Seafood Monster Wars or whatever. That's coming. It is in the hands of the United States Postal Service right now on its way to me. I believe from the same director of Monster X Strikes Back, Attack the G8 Summit.
I hang my head in shame.
We also got from SRS Cinema War of the God Monsters, which is I think, late 80s Korean movie. I added it to the end of the schedule.
You don't see many of those.
What?
Korean movies.
We
Late 80s
watched,
Korean movies.
We watched The
We've
Host.
watched a few.
We watched Bong Joon-ho's The Host. We also watched the North Korean movie Pulgasari.
Yes, we did.
Me and Andrew did go ahead and watch it, and
It's interesting.
it is a sight to behold.
It's a very
Why
interesting.
do you hate
It's
me?
got a lot of WTF moments.
Yeah.
Why do you hate me?
Oh man.
He said, on the contrary.
On the contrary.
I'm just trying to make you a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more. Hey, Dylan started watching anime without me even forcing him to watch it the other
I know.
day. He turned on Death Note apparently.
I didn't die.
And he's still alive.
He watched 4 episodes.
He watched
4
4
episodes in one setting.
Oh my gosh, are you okay? Can you feel the weave coming out?
God, no.
Dylan's gonna.
All right. No, I mean, that's actually not bad.
I said Dylan's gonna. Before you know it, Dylan's gonna be
speaking fluent Japanese.
He's gonna be speaking fluent Japanese. He's gonna be cosplaying as Todoroki at some kind of con or something.
Definitely not.
His hair is gonna be dyed like bright blue or bright pink or something. Oh man, he's gonna be wearing a Cowboy Bebop shirt or something.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah.
God, no. That's you.
No, listen, I have never cosplayed in my entire life.
No, you have not.
So
I'll give you that.
back off, bro.
That's gonna be Adam.
Adam might. I wouldn't put it above Adam. But anyway, we're getting way off topic. As far as upcoming more in the nearer future on the schedule.
Next week, we're venturing into the realm of 90s Disney films.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Sorry.
With the 1998 remake, Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah. A lot of
With Bill Paxton.
a lot of star power in that movie.
Charlize Theron.
A lot of money behind that movie. But does it translate well to the screen?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Like I said, I had a VHS.
Been a long time.
I had a VHS tape that I practically wore out.
I had one of the old clamshell VHS tape cases, the plastic ones.
Yeah, that's what
called
I
a
had.
Clamshell. Yeah.
Those were the days.
Back in the simple days.
But we're gonna be reliving our childhood, Dylan. It's a good old time.
You ever seen Mighty Joe Young?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
Totally.
he watched it with us. I'm sure he'd been a lot younger, obviously, but and then after that, we're gonna be, like I said, venturing back to King Kong with Dino De Laurentiis.
Stateside.
Dino De Laurentiis' infamous '70s Kong movie.
What's after that?
Well, and then after that, we have Rampage, I believe.
And then I think King Kong Lives.
King Kong Lives.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's the forgotten sequel nobody wants to talk about.
And then, obviously, I'm sure there's something in between that. And then we will watch Peter Jackson's Kong.
Yeah, we're also going to be getting into the Clash of the Titan movies.
And then, obviously, Skull Island at some point in the near future.
Yeah. And then we'll, Trimmers. So anyway, I think that's all we got for you this week. Don't forget that if you want to contact us and send us in some more, always willing to take suggestions for movies to watch. We may not accept all of them. Dylan may be like, draw the line here. But other than that, Stomp This Way 1954 at gmail.com. That's where you can contact us.
Yeah, if you want to follow us on social medias, we're up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at Stomp This Way on all those platforms. Forgot to plug our other podcast. If you can't wait till next Tuesday to listen to us talk about Mighty Joe Young, listen to our other podcast, Movies Don't Create Psychos. We're in the midst of the end of the Saw franchise. I think next episode will be Saw 6. And then we'll obviously do Saw 7 and Spiral and Jigsaw or whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that out. Movies Don't Create Psychos.
That's right. Andrew, why don't you tell them where they can find the website for this podcast?
They can find that website at www.stompthisway.podbean.com.
That's
true.
right. Dylan, do we have anything to look at over there?
Yeah, if you want, you can pull up that fancy new schedule that Aaron has just created. I'm sure it'll be posted sometime in the very near future if it hasn't been already. So you can check out all those. You can check out all those movies that Aaron has added for me to suffer through. Sorry, I mean
To
enjoy.
Yeah, you correct your language.
And you can also see grades for previous films, backlogged episodes, as well as whatever news Aaron wants to keep us updated with, and his full rankings of the Godzilla and Gamera films, and soon to be Kong movies.
Yeah.
King Kong. But other than that, all we got for you this week. As always, thank you for listening. I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Dylan, and we'll catch you in the next one.